Welcome. Today we're going to be changing an O2 sensor, oxygen sensor. And for this demonstration we're going to be using a 1995 5.7 liter Chevy Suburban. Now most of you can do this at home with some proper jack stands and a jack, and just lift the car up a little bit, enough to get up underneath there, and you'll be fine. But today we're going to use a rack. We're going to hoist this up, we're going to show you the proper location and the disconnections and the installation. Now that we have the Suburban raised, we can clearly identify and locate our O2 sensor, which is located just before the catalytic converter and just below the exhaust manifold flange on the passenger side. So what we're going to do is we're going to locate our watertight connection. We're going to start at our O2 sensor, and it appears the connection is above our transmission. Once we find the connection, we're going to simply disconnect our watertight connection and pull those wires down. This would be the connection for our O2 sensor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wrench and we're going to remove this O2 sensor right here. And you want to make sure that when you remove this sensor, you're at the proper temperature. This cannot be too cold or too hot. You want to be around 120 Fahrenheit. And we're just going to give it a little tug. And there it's loose. And we're just going to twist that out of there. We're going to make sure our plug connection spins around freely with it. And you want to make sure that you don't cross-thread this unit into the exhaust pipe. This is what the O2 sensor looks like. What we want to do is we want to compare our replacement with our original. We want to make sure that our plug connection is going to be the same and the amount of wires are going to be the same. This is a 3-wire. So prior to installing our new O2 sensor, we want to make sure that we put a liberal amount of anti-seize. Anti-seize is actually graphite and little tiny microscopic glass beads. And this will keep this from galling as we install it. And it'll help in the removal later if it needs to be replaced again. So we're just going to take this, we're going to set it in our hole, and we're just going to twist that in. During the installation, we want to be very careful with the wires. We don't want to bend them or kink them or rub up to something that may cut them. It's very important that these wires do not get kinked or damaged in any way. We're just going to turn this in. We want to make sure that the wires don't hit anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten this to 15 foot-pounds. And then we're going to make our connection up over top of our transmission. We're going to make this tab fit the other tab, and we should hear a click during the connection. Okay, there's our connection.